Hi, I'm Jan Harrell from Houston, Texas. I'm a jeweler, a metalsmith, and an enamelist. And I'm here in beautiful Jefferson, Wisconsin, hoping to hook you in on this wonderful product called Sunshine Enamels. For the tools today, we'll be using a beautiful kit. We'll be using some small trays to put the enamels in while we use them, clean and dirty water. The base coats that I've used on my enamels are these two enamels. It's the 1055, badge white, which is a nice crisp white. And then I also like this other color, which is called pastel brown, and it's 1110. It gives kind of a sepia old world tone to the piece. We'll be using some small brushes for the work, a sifter with a 1/4 inside, and it's the 100 mesh sifter. So let's get started. I've got some forms that I made before I came here. All of them are on copper. They either have the white base coat or the brown on, and I've also done the counter enamel on the back. These are shapes that I've cut out using the Cool Tools templates because I really like the shapes. And I've put the hole in the center with the disc cutters. So I've got a nice large hole, and when these are finished, I'll actually have a tubing rivet in the center of them. So the imagery that I have on these and 4 other pieces that have been worked on is all put on there with a decal. So if you're in ceramics, you may recognize what this is. You have to use a black and white laser printer, and usually the older HD printers are the ones that have really good high quality iron oxide. You print on some special decal paper that you can get over the internet, and you lay down a black coating on there. So it's black laser ink. When that adheres to the decal paper, you let it set for maybe 5 minutes. Then you cut the image out, you float it in a pan of water, and you adhere it to your piece. You let that dry, and then you fire it in the kiln. So all of these has been pre-fired that way. Some of it uses my own imagery that I draw. That's certainly a great thing to do. But you can also use appropriated images from clip art books or whatever. This actually is a picture of a place in Houston that my girlfriend works in, and it's the beginning doors for their little stage. So I wanted to do a pendant for her, the imagery that I took off of that particular piece. This is just a huge giant cupcake wrapper that I enlarged and did artwork on. So it just gives you a really neat Baroque pattern that I think is kind of fun to work with. So like everything in enameling, we're going to start out with a surfactant. And it's really important because we're putting this water-based product down on a glass surface. So once again, a very thin coat. I'm going to wipe a lot of it off. Before I started doing the videos for Cool Tools, you could only buy these sunshine colors in really large quantities, more than you would need for your lifetime, I would imagine. Well, unless you're a lot younger than me. So you could probably use them up. I don't think I'll use mine up. But they have them in these smaller quantities, and it makes it great because you can have a complete set. They're the most beautiful colors in the world. People in England who do portrait painting are using this exact same product mixed with oil to do those wonderful portraits in 1.5 inch and 2 inch vignettes. So a great product. I don't know why you wouldn't gift yourself with this like tomorrow. So let's start painting. I have my colors mixed with a little bit of distilled water, and I'm just going to randomly paint. I kind of overpaint over the lines. Anytime I'm printing a decal for my own use, I print doubles. So if I apply 2 or 3 coats of sunshine colors, and my line work is important to have in that particular composition, I will do all my painting, and then I will come back and I'll apply another decal on the top and try to float it exactly where it is. And that gives you a really strong line quality that might be what you want to do. If you want your line quality to go away, paint over the lines and it just becomes an area that you don't have to physically draw. And I like being able to use tools at my, whatever it takes to get the job done. So these are pretty cute. Before you put any piece of sunshine into the kiln, it needs to have a coat of flux over the top. I choose flux. You could put a color on top, but it'll change every color in there. And I might want the colors to be truer to what they are. So flux protects it, and I'm particularly fond of the 2015. There's a 2020, but that's a harder fusing flux. And that actually would take a little bit of the color away from your sunshine colors because you would have to fire a little bit hotter. It's a Thompson color and it's grain enamel, and it's different from what we're using here. So what are sunshine colors? They're finely ground oxides that have frit, so they will be shining. It's an overglaze color. I think that's just about the best way to explain it. So I'm going to do the rest of this painting off camera. So let me show you some painted pieces that my elves have done while I've been busy doing other things. So you see two of these are painting on the 1110 brown, and then these two on the ends are done on the 1055 badge white. All of these have dried. And now I'm going to put my dust mask on because I'm going to sift these enamels on top. So I don't want to coat this with the sprayer right now because that would activate all this beautiful painting in here and it would run together. So the first coat that I put on top is a dry sift. And because these are formed pieces, I might need to put a little bit of moisture on it to really get my flux to come around the edges. It's not so important on a flat piece, and I probably wouldn't take the time to do that, but it's very important on this. This seems to be holding up pretty well, so I think that'll be enough. So you just want a feather of the flux over the top. Let me complete the other three pieces, and then I'll take them over to the kiln and fire them. Through the magic of television, this is just like a cooking show, isn't it? We have these finished pieces here, and look how different they turned out. Really bright colors on top of the white background. Then we have bright colors with a muted background that has grain enamel sprinkled on. Muted colors again with some grain enamel sprinkled there. This looks like a piece of wallpaper, and it just has a wonderful quality to it. This piece got retreated a few times, and it ended up looking like, I don't know, maybe an oriental rug. So some white enamel on top of the stencils, and really the stencils were, the decals were used as kind of a background noise in computer speak, I guess. This one's really lovely, and I want to show you why. This is a sugar treatment. So this is sugar. It has a texture to it, and it's very finely ground enamel. And this is a regular firing. So I love doing this. It's a little hard to catch, but I've got some tips that'll help you get a sugar fire on your piece. And it doesn't take a lot of work. It just takes a little bit of careful watching of the kiln and grade sifting of the enamel. So let me put a mask on so I can grade sift these enamels for you. So when you get a container of enamel from a vendor, every size in the world is in here. And for our technique of sugar firing to work, we need to grade sift. So in between each one of these, I've got my quarter, I've got my face mask on, I've put all of it at the top. I'm going to put my catch pan on the top so I have less enamel in the air, the catch pan at the bottom, and then I'm going to shake my money maker So let's see what we've got in here. We have a lot of the 100. We have quite a few of the 150. We've got some 200. And we've got a lot of the 325, and then this is kind of the dust. So I would choose one of these because I have more of these to use. So these are the same size, grain size, so they will melt at the same time. They will all fall over at the same time, and you don't have a 60 mesh that's sitting waiting for a little bit more heat when a 325 has already melted. So to get sugar, you need a uniform thickness and the same grain size of the enamel. So I'm going to put this in my 100 mesh sifter. And let me move these out of the way. Now mind you, I use every bit of this. It all goes back into the jar when this process is over. And let me just show you sugar firing. And you want this to be a pretty even coat because the edges need to be covered. And that's all you need for sugar fire. When you put this in the kiln, a piece this size that's done on 18 gauge copper probably will start to do sugar at about 1 minute. If you've been opening and closing the door of the kiln a lot, it might take a little longer. But the minute you see it go from this grainy look, and you do need to peek a lot, you will see it just starting to look like you can see through and see the design. That's sugar fire. What happens if you miss it? Well, you've just got another coat of flux on the piece or another color. So you just try it again. So it may take several times for you to come to get kind of a better eyeball at this, but it does take opening the kiln door, closing it, counting for 10 seconds, doing it again, and you'll get it eventually. And it just gives you such a difference in how your enamels read. They almost look like a porcelain or a ceramic product. They don't catch the light as pretty, but I think that's okay. It just gives you a different look to the piece. I hope you enjoyed this whole painting demo and you'll run out and get these. You know, I used to say Mother's Day is coming up, but just you should buy this stuff for yourself. You're worth it.
Visit our Learning Center at cooltools.us for more cool jewelry making videos. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and be sure to sign up for our email list to be the first to hear about new videos, new products, and other cool stuff from Cool Tools.